Chukube is like, yeah.
Okay, welcome everyone to the Q&A session for the second block of films at Lifanima 2020 online version. So far, we have seen the 13 films for this particular block, and they've been different interesting styles. Some have been 2D, some of them 3D, some are a mix, some even used live action, photography. So it's been quite an interesting mix. So Chekube, your film, Meet the Igwes, was one of the films that screened earlier. There's another film of yours that will screen later after the industry session. So can you tell us what inspired Meet the Igwes, and is that just it? Is it just a short film, or is it going to become a feature or a series? And also, why did you choose 2D? Why is your preference 2D animation?
All right, thank you very much for that question. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, but could you just increase your volume a bit?
I've done that. I think it's the highest.
Okay.
Well, can you still hear me? I'll try to.
Yes, I can hear you now. We can hear you.
Okay, so Meet the Igwes has been a quite long journey. I think it's one of the first animated piece I actually started, my whole animation career creating. So it started when the company haven't even formed, before Magic Carpets, and before we had started having so many other ideas, over the years. So Meet the Igwes is something that's very dear to us, starting from that early creative and creation process, right? And the reason why we chose 2D was because we wanted something that would connect deeply, because there's something about drawings and characters. We just wanted to exaggerate a lot of things, and we felt that going the 2D route would be a very suitable option for that production. So we started Meet the Igwes on a very, very rough note, and currently now we are seeing how we can actually scale it up to a very grander project. So Meet the Igwes is going to be a series. We've not made an official announcement yet, so we are actually working on a series for Meet the Igwes. Alongside with other productions we have currently. We have a feature film, but let us keep that aside, right? So Meet the Igwes is a series. We're working on a series at the moment, and it's something that we all will enjoy. Just the same way you have your Simpsons, your Boondocks, your Family Guy, and the rest of them. This is something that is very authentic, and it's Africa. It's something that we can relate to. And they are understanding that most of this series thrive on controversial topics. We want to create a healthy and a safe show, but still entertaining, that family can watch, your kids can watch, and also having those very vital African values that we are trying to export globally. So Meet the Igwes is going to be a series, and that's the plan for it. And hopefully by next year, I think we'll have more clarity concerning that. We'll put a word out there and we also put a timeline. So Indigo is a very, very dear project. So far, so good. We are really pacing good on it.
Okay, thank you for sharing. So Jimmy, you're not just Waka screened as well. Can you tell us the inspiration behind it, and why also did you choose to use 2D animation and use the style that you use? You seem to have used cutout. You seem to have used cutouts. Am I right about that? Hello, Jimmy, where have you gone?
Sorry, your voice is actually breaking. I can't hear you properly.
Wow. Can you hear now?
Yeah.
Jimmy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hear
I'm
you.
actually really struggling too. Can you
But
move
can
the
you hear
speaker probably closer
Can you
to
hear me now? I can hear you very well. I can hear everyone very well.
Okay, can you hear
Jimmy,
me?
can you hear? Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
I can hear you now.
can everybody hear me? Okay, I didn't get the question you asked. I think
Okay, so
my
I'll
system
take
logged off.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it again.
Yeah.
I'll take it again. So I said your film screened. Your film is a 2D animation film, and from what I saw, you seem to have used cutout animation. Am I right about that? Yes, not traditional. So I said,
it's a bit of cutout and
a bit
frame
of
by frame as well. A bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that what inspired the story, and why did you choose to use that particular way of animation, that is the frame by frame and the cutouts?
Okay, it was it's sort of a music video and a short film at the same time. You know, if you watch it, it's a musical track, but it also tells a story. You know, basically talking about different ills the youth can get into, different kinds of trouble that exist in the Nigerian in Nigeria. You know, the case of sexual abuse, the case of drug trafficking, and yeah, it was different sections of the story. I highlighted all those things, and I'm a 2D animation person.
Okay.
Yeah, I love 2D animation. I love anime and manga. I feel that 2D is a great way for us to tell our stories in Nigeria. You know, if I believe that yeah, I believe that in Nigeria, 2D is the way to go. I mean, we can tell. I mean, it's faster. It's more expressive. I believe. You know, I'm a 2D person all the way. So I love expressing, um, telling my animation stories through 2D. You know, I believe there's a lot we can do with 2D. I mean, there's a lot we can do with 2D, and there's a way 2D communicates with an audience that's different from 3D. You know, it's just different, and yeah, basically that's the reason behind using 2D.
Okay, so okay, I hope you can hear me. Okay, so the way it is now, since you said it's a mix of a musical video and a short film, is this just it, or is this like a proof of concept, as it were? Is it like a proof of concept? Is there going to be a continuation, or this is just a one-off thing? Like, you're not going to make it No Just Waka series, or like a continuum of some kind of music videos?
Well, for No Just Waka is a one-off.
Okay.
Yeah, No Just Waka specifically is a one-off. But there are other projects we're working on. There's one that's sort of a spin-off from this, from the No Just Waka video. It's like a detective story, but like a detective spoof story. You know, a couple on the cover that I didn't know that they were both undercover police until something happens, and something like a Nigerian animation version of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And yeah, we have another a superhero flick, Jamie, that's in the works. And yeah, so that was just a way of expressing ourselves. If you listen to the lyrics, it's quite hilarious. It's funny, it's interesting.
Okay.
So we just wanted to express it in animation, into the animation. It was yeah, we just wanted to express it into the animation because we felt that was a good way to tell the story. But yeah, we're working on other animations that in that line and with that style. We believe we can tell a lot of stories with that style. I mean, in a way that people will understand, and in a way that it will connect to our audience here, basically.
Okay. The other thing I was thinking, when it comes to distribution, I know that people, I mean, platforms, of course, platforms are opening up a bit, but platforms normally were not taking short form content and also animation, but some platforms are opening. So is your film on YouTube? Are you also planning to get it on other platforms, maybe TV stations, even if it's to be used as a filler, or are you planning to get it to other SVOD platforms that take short form content? Or like now, did you do this particular project for someone, since you said it's a mix of a musical or a short film, or is your studio that did it and just did it to get it out there?
Yeah, it was sort of a collaboration. It was um, we heard. I mean, some friends made the music, and we
Okay,
liked it, and we felt we could tell a story with it.
with the music.
Yeah, with the music. Yeah, so that's what we did. There's
Okay, but
no
as it is, do you plan, I mean, is it something that you can, you think you can commercialize, even though it's short? Because as I said, there are platforms opening now that are
okay,
taking short form
content.
content. Yes. Is it
Okay.
something that, like now, you can send in, or I mean, you'd rather not, you rather sort of use it as a proof of concept and build other things, like around it? Because I mean,
Yeah.
I just feel that you've spent money, or were you sponsored by a particular body, or did you get a grant for it?
No.
Because if you spent money, except, well, you are not so, you couldn't be bothered. Well, you spent it, it's just there. But if there is a way you can
Hi, Big,
get
are you still there?
it back. Yes, I'm here.
Big,
I'm here. I'm
okay,
here.
Chekube,
I'm
can you hear
here.
me?
Stanley, we can hear you loud and clear. We are here.
I
Jimmy,
think
you
it went
can
off.
hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. So for now,
Yeah.
we're using it as a proof of concept for other projects. I remember when we released it. There's this guy, I can't. I've forgotten his name. That had I think he did an animation for Cartoon Network as well. So it was like, that the animation style is very similar to what he did as well. And yeah, so I think, yeah, we've been using it as a proof of concept. And well, we know we're still, I mean, the animation industry in Nigeria, we're still trying to see how we can monetize short form content, especially. I think for now, most of us would are creating short form content to be able to create long form. Because at the end of the day, the most monetizable, if I'll use it, if I'll say that, would be long form content. Right now, we don't have that many platforms that would actually.
But there are platforms that are taking short form content, like Kweli TV in the States, which
Okay.
takes and promotes the work of Black film makers. They take short form content, documentaries, live action series, and all. So if you are really keen, you could just try, except you want it only just to be for a proof of concept. But if you feel that, I mean, well, you could try seeing if you can monetize it. I guess you can send it to them, because as I said, quite a number of platforms are coming up now and trying to help with monetizing short form content. And since this year, there's been so much happening around Africa, Black people, I mean, so much. So there are platforms that are opening up to show or to give films from Africa, irrespective of the format. So far, they are fine with the storyline. They're trying to give them, that that opportunity. So, well, you could try that. But one of the things I also wanted to ask is, like, from script to screen, from writing the story to execution, how long did it take you to complete the project? And I mean, what was the size of your team, as it were? Because of course, it could be in end credit, but at times end credit, you would see the same name in several places. So I mean, like, could you just give a summary of, okay, on the project, in fact, we're just 5 people, and then how long it took you to get to the finished product?
Yeah, it took us about a month.
Okay.
It took us about a month. Yeah, there were about 5 of us. From character design to animation and all of that, and then backgrounds and all of that. So yeah, it took us about a month.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Stanley.
Yeah.
Stanley. Okay. The films for today. Could you tell us your impressions about some of the films that you saw for Block 2?
Block 2. Well, Block 2, they were as impressive as Block 1 movies. I think all the movies so far at the festival have been really exceptional. I particularly liked. I particularly liked whether from between Block 1 and Block 2, all the movies from that were done by Chekube that have been shown have been impressive. The style has been consistent. As a painter, I appreciate the fact that the templates he uses, the color template and the Pantones that he uses for his animation, they're quite impressive. And they are dense and with very low contrast, which makes it look cinematic already. So in terms of look, those works, I find them really good. In terms of storytelling, even though some of them are just like for comics, for comic relief, for the laughs and all that, but nevertheless, you can tell that a lot goes into thinking about what the audience should feel and how they should react to what he's doing. Again, many other movies, practically all the movies have been fantastic. Not just Waka. Again, I love the fact, I love the song. Watching it reminded me of the NSAS protest, which I was also part of, and I realized that these stories, these things, they live with us every day as Nigerians. go through all these terrible things and we still manage to smile and make animations of them. You know, isn't that wonderful? so all the movies have been great. I want to say kudos to the guys pushing for 2D. I'm a 3D animator, but I've always pushed for 2D because I believe there's so much that you can achieve with 2D that people are not given the chance. People don't give the chance for 2D animators to, especially in Nigeria, people don't give chance for 2D animators to really express themselves as much as they would give to 3D animators. And personally, for any project I'm thinking of doing, somehow by default, the first thing I think about is making it a 2D animation project. But of course, again, I think there needs to be a lot of expansion in terms of manpower and team and human capacity before we can really push and launch forward with great 2D productions. It's not as if the skills are not there, the talents are not there, but what has not happened is the collaboration between the people who are skilled in that aspect of animation coming together to work together. Because whether you like it or not, 2D animation requires a very huge manpower, a very huge workforce, a lot bigger than you would for 3D animation. I mean, I sat down between 2001 and 2009 and animated an entire feature film myself, 3D animation, you understand? But you can't do that with 2D animation. It's, even if you could, you'll be breaking your back. But again, like I said, 2D animation, from my perspective, requires a larger workforce of dedicated and highly skilled people than 3D animation would do. So I'm looking forward to the day where we can have a collaborative project that is being put together by all these people I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of wonderful 2D animators at this festival. I'm hoping that one day we'll see all these people come together and do something that the world will look at and marvel at. So I just want to say kudos to all you guys. You guys are doing a fantastic job and I'm more than impressed.
Okay, what I also noticed with some of the films in the second block was there were social change films, sort of, and issues, because like Campus Me Too by Brian K. Taros from Kenya, it was still about this ongoing, the Me Too movement, I mean, that was hashtagged sometime back in the States, and then of course, and you know, recently in the past few years in Nigeria, this whole sex for grades thing. And what I also saw in the beginning, I mean, like the opening credits, I saw Action Aid, I saw UN Women. So I wish Brian were here because I wanted to ask him, was it a sponsored project? And then in the end credit, I saw names of different people and then their universities. So I'm wondering, were they people that were victims of sexual harassment, or is it that they lent their voice to signing a particular petition? And then Amira, by another filmmaker from Nigeria, you know, talked about, it was a mix of different styles. It had 2D, it had photography, it had a bit of live action as well. You know, quite interesting. I had seen the film before in 2 years ago at another film festival. And what is interesting about it is that that film and some other films in a particular block in that film festival, they were sponsored by the Goethe Institute and the French Cultural Center, and they were outcomes of a workshop that the two organizations, you know, like put together. So all the people that participated in the workshop in Lagos and Abuja, after the workshop, they pitched projects, and they worked in groups, you know, to come up with this. So I like the concept of doing things together, like you said. I hope that by the end of this festival, at least there'll be some co-production, because of course our work as animation people I mean, as even shown in this COVID, we are one of the few people that can really work remotely because for live action, you need to be on the set, you need to shoot. But I mean, somebody doing the storyboard somewhere and the other person doing the coloring and all, they can all be done remotely, shared, you know, via so many different platforms. So I noticed that quite a number of the films were that way. And then I would have really loved to speak with Comfort too, because her I'm living in Ghana, get me out of here was quite a hilarious take on, I mean, it's so similar to Nigeria. You know, you get to the airport, immigration, where's your yellow card? And okay, you can't get it, and then you pay something. I saw it at a film festival last year, and Comfort wasn't present, so it was I couldn't ask her, you know, the questions, but it was quite interesting to see that. So, well, I mean, I guess as storytellers, we are telling stories based on, I mean, our current situation,
Experience.
but yes, I mean, experiences and
another thing about Comfort's film, which I must mention, is that she's not about her stories. Her animations are not about the too technical. Oh, let's make it very technical.
Yes, no.
Strong story, which brings me to the point. At the end of the day, I had this conversation with some guy at a free. I think it was 2 years ago. We were having a session, and the guy was blatantly claiming that animators were not filmmakers, and I was like, wow, that was new to me. Whether I like it or not, the style of your storytelling could be animation, but you're essentially a filmmaker telling a story. So at the end of the day, we should all realize that the strongest thing about everything we do is the story, not the technicalities. The technicalities come in to enhance a good story, you know. And that's one thing about everything Comfort has done, from Black Barbie to her latest movie. I followed all of them, and it's always been about story. And you are not distracted by the complexity or lack of it of the characters in the story, but you're just carried away by the fact that she's telling a convincing, relatable story.
Yes.
It reminds me of when I was a child, and they would buy toys for us, and the toys were like normal things, but the things we really played with were like matchsticks. So I'll get a small matchstick and I'll burn the head, and I'll use a pen to draw 2 eyes, nose, and mouth, and then I'll be holding them and talking, and that's it. Storytelling starts from childhood, and at the end of the day, as long as the story is convincing and relatable, midway, not even before midway into the storytelling, people forget about what they are seeing on screen. Which is why I'm also very biased about people who talk about cameras and all the resolution, 4K, 20K, and all that. Guy, if I'm engrossed in your story, I will not see the detail of the hair on someone's skin. If I'm seeing that, that means your story is not captivating me. Well, I could see it by the way, but that shouldn't be the main thing. Is the story. So I'm really impressed with Comfort's work.
That's what Mr. Muyiwa Kayode was saying, you know, like earlier, that of course it's great to do technical stuff all together, enhances, but the main thing is the story. Like if the story is weak, even if the style is so engaging, I mean, you would lose some people that will not be carried away by the razzmatazz of the style. Because as you said, I mean, the one of Comfort is basic. I mean, as I said, it was a mix. She's not so caring whether, I mean,
actually, if I should just hit the nail on the head, Comfort proves that it's not about the mise en scène so much. The mise en scène, which is what's going on the screen, is very important, but the story is key. And why I'm impressed is that all the movies we've seen so far have had good storylines.
Yes, they have.
Not just Waka is a musical, but I'm seeing the same things that we're protesting against disaster for going on there straight up. You understand what I'm saying? So again, it's about the story, and everybody has been able to capture storytelling into what they are doing, and I think that's impressive. I think we have just like 2 minutes to the end of this
Yes,
session.
I was going to say so.
Let's just give time to the filmmakers
well,
to round up.
we'll have to go, because right now we have the industry session on Gami and the Living Things. They're going to, it's a 3D animated feature film that is a musical that they're working on for release in the cinema. I'm thinking surely must be 2021. Well, 2020 is not over yet, so they're going to tell us about it in the next session. It looks, quite interesting, because when I saw the title, I just went back to secondary school, Living Things, the song You Make Characteristics of Living Things, and Mr. Niger and all. So, well, looking forward to it. So I guess we need to end now, because the session is actually supposed to be 5:50.
I think in conclusion, I just want to say I'm looking forward to the completion of the Passport of Madam Emilia.
Yeah, and we are all waiting for that.
Yeah, and all I'll say to the team is, guys, don't be in a hurry. The world can wait, but let the world wait for an exceptional production. And if it's anything close to what I'm seeing with these shots you're doing so far in terms of the feel and the production value, I believe we're in for a thrill. So thanks, guys, and I'm signing out.
Okay, bye.